Hello and welcome back, and today we're going to be playing Stickman Bowling. Now, you can see clearly in the thumbnail, it is not a stickman, it is a sleuth, a detective. And studying very carefully the bowling alley for some reason. Maybe there's some mischief in the alley, and a bunch of people are just bowling there. It's not a complete title, by the way, that you can see there. The actual full title of the puzzle, which we'll see in a second, is Stickman Bowling 12 times Strikes. And I don't know if I've really done it justice. In this case, I'm actually going to say the Sudoku grid looks even better than the thumbnail. Speaking of which, let's take a look at what we have in store for today and the rule sets as usual. So, it's a Stickman Bowling 12 times Strikes by Willpower. And in the usual, very striking willpower style of puzzles, you can very clearly see, the individual that is bowling there. There's the bowling ball. They're just taking a run up, I guess, towards the bowling alley itself, just to sort of throw it down and hopefully get a strike. And even on top of that, here are sort of the 12 strikes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, 12 of them. Just absolutely amazing what this man can do in a 9x9 Sudoku grid. So, Sudoku rules are: normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, in every column, and in every 3x3 box. Fairly standard. We have RENBANs, so numbers on the purple lines are each a set of non-repeating consecutive numbers in any order. I'm trying to find a relatively short RENBAN. This is 6 cells, I'm going to say. So, if I place the digit 2 on any one of these cells, any one of them, literally, of the cells in this RENBAN line, what this tells us is that we need to have 6 consecutive numbers in any order. So that could be 1 to 6, or it could be 2 to 7. And I'm restricting it to these 2 possible groups because it must contain the number 2. The fact that it can be in any order, for example, means I could put 3, 4 in here, I could put 5, 6 in here, I could put a 1 in here. You can see it's clearly not in order with 1, 2, then 5, 6, but that would be one possible way of doing it. What I cannot do is remove that 6, add a 7, because they are no longer consecutive. That doesn't work whatsoever. What else do we have in store for today? We've got XV pairs. Numbers with an X between them must sum up to 10. We've got 12 of these X's, as we obviously know from the title. So if this is a 2, to add up to 10, this would have to be an 8. And essentially all of these cells that have an X between them, these pairs of cells must sum up to 10. We also have KROPKI pairs. So numbers with a white dot between them are consecutive. For example, this white dot in here, if this was a 3, this would have to be 2 or 4 for them to be consecutive. We also have black dots that you can see dotted throughout. If this was a 2, this would have to be 1 or 4, so that if one of those cells is double the other. What else do we know? Not all possible X's and dots are given. So that 2 here could have a 4, for example. That is, the 4 is double the 2. No black dot, not a problem. That 8 here could have a 9 there. No white dot, but they're still consecutive, not a problem. And then lastly, I could have a 1 in here, and that 1 and 9 clearly add up to 10, but once again, without an X, that is not a problem either. So no negative constraints whatsoever. So the only thing left to say is, if you want to play this puzzle, if you feel confident you can actually strike 12 times in a row. Is it a row? No. Yeah. No. Yes, I don't know what the black KROPKI dot would mean, for example, on a bowling score, but, clearly whoever is actually playing the stickman here, they're doing very well. So, if you feel like you're going to do equally well on the Sudoku grid, link will be in the description down below as usual for you to play along. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on. Right. Few obvious things I'm going to point out. I can place digits 5, actually in quite a few places on this grid. Say quite a few places, at least 2 places. 3. Yeah, 3. And let me show you how. First off, a 5 can never be part of an X. If I place a 5 in here, that would require a second 5 for me to get a 10, breaking Sudoku rules. You can never place a 5 on a black KROPKI dot, because that would mean for one of these cells to be double the other. This is either a 10, doesn't work, or 2.5, also doesn't work. So row 1 can't be a 5, can't be a 5, can't be a 5, 5. That's 1. Row 3, no 5s on any of these. No 5s, no 5s. That's another 5. Curious now if there is indeed one more left. And I think the answer is yes, that's another 5. So there was in fact 3 5s as I suspected. Sadly, not in the columns. The X's are purely horizontal, but you know, 3 digits in around a minute. Can't ignore that. This is clearly going to be 4 or 6, just because it has to be consecutive with a 5. 4 or 6 can only be 4 or 6 when it comes to adding up to 10. You can go quite a few different ways from here. I'm going to write a couple of them. So if this was a 6, this would have to be 3. If this was a 4, this could be 2 or 8. I mean, I can keep going. If this is 2 or 8, this would be another 2 or 8. If this is 3, that would be 7. It's a whole bunch of pencil marks, but it doesn't necessarily help me move forward. What I think would help me move forward is the RENBAN though. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cell RENBAN, which means it's either the digits 1 through to 8 or the digits 2 through to 9. And this run here is very interesting. One thing that is fairly obvious, I don't know if I've actually said that. Yes, it does say in the rule, and I didn't actually spell it out, that RENBANs do not have repeating digits. So once you lay down the 5, and I'm looking at this white KROPKI dot run, they all have to be the same polarity. So this is either a run of 6, 7, 8, or 9, because I can't have a second 5, so I can't go through 5 to get to a low digit, or it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, no 5s, and it doesn't go to a high digit like 6, 7, 8, 9. So the question is, which one is it? And is there a way for me to find out relatively easily? Whatever this is, it's 4 of the same polarity. And therefore, this would have to be the remaining digits, whatever they are going to have to be the opposite polarity. I'm going to go with purple. And this obviously would have to be orange. And that's interesting. The reason I say this is interesting, because imagine that orange is high for a second. What that's saying is that this is the 6, and therefore this would have to be 9, 8, 7, 6. If orange was low, well, this would be a 4, and therefore the run up here would have to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So because of this 4, 6, this is actually, the run for this is actually fixed. So it's either 1, 2, 3, 4, or it's 9, 8, 7, 6. And then somehow, we need to figure out what is going on here. So one thing that I can say with confidence is this cell, this 4, 6, is amongst one of these two. Essentially, the way to think about every number that adds up to 10 is going to be composed of a low digit, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a high digit, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the rest of this grid is essentially purple, and then, hang on, no. That's purple. No, I should explain my thought process a little bit. There's a purple and an orange in here. That much is obvious because of what I've just said about the 10. Whichever one is the orange makes 4 oranges. So you can only have 4 of them in any particular puzzle. Sorry, in any particular box. Now, the rest of this is either purple or a 5. And essentially, when they're not a 5, such as this cell here, because it can see a 5, it has to be purple. So no 5s, no 5. Only place for a 5 now is in here. That's a 5. What I was actually really hoping for, though, is I will actually figure out what these are. Let's think about what the rest of this is for a second. So essentially, what I'm missing on the purples is a 1 or 9. Because this is essentially either a 1 through to 8 or a 2 through to 9. I'm missing the extreme edge on either the low or highs. But I don't have a purple 4-6. I have a purple 2-8-3-7. Both on here. Which means this is not 2-8 or 3-7. This is 1-9 or 4-6. And then the 2-3-8-7s are sort of up here. And specifically this, come on, Sleuth, I've got to be able to actually determine which one it is somehow, logically, without having to bifurcate. How would I go about doing that? So this 4-6, I think that's my answer. This is 4-6 again. Because where does the orange 4-6 go in here? We knew it had to be on this cross. And because it needs to add up to 10, that's another 4-6. And then these KROPKI dots have to be from 2-8/3. And the reason I'm sort of saying that, we've kind of determined that already. If that's a 6, it has to be 3. If that's a 4, that could be 2 or 8. Now, and this is sort of what's going to give us the answer. Whichever one is the 3, it's on an X, and its partner has to be a 7. Now, you can never have a 7 on a black KROPKI dot because it's the same challenge as the 5. Double a 7 is 14, way too big. Half a 7 is 3.5. It's not even an integer number. So that can't be the 7. This is the 7. That is the 3. That is the 6. That is the 4. And that is now 2 or 8. That's another 2 or 8. It's the orange 2 or 8. This is really not helpful. I want to actually figure out the colors in a second. This now, well, if this is an 8, I've broken it. This is a 2. Because if this is an 8, across from a black KROPKI dot would have to be a 4, and the 4 I've already used. So orange, no, let me try that again. Orange is low, purple is high, and this is 8, this is 2. This would have to be a double, and it can only be actually a 1 because, again, 4 is not available. So that's 1, that's 9. That's row 1 done. We can do all the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is a 4. That is a 6. That is a 3. That is a 7. And we're off and racing, really. These are... This is not an 8, obviously. Not or 2, 3 either. So that's just 7. That would have to be an 8. I don't know why that's broken. That's a 4, not a 5. That's why. And this would have to be a 9 for us to complete box 2. What an excellent start to the puzzle. When I say start, I mean, we're almost 10 minutes in at 8 minutes 40. Let's see if we can finish the rest in here. We've done 4-6, we've done 3-7. These are 2-8 and 1-9. I mean, aside from this not being an 8, the rest seems to be pretty open. And I don't really want to do a whole bunch of pencil marks for no good reason. Can I finish the pencil marks here? Probably the 2 is up there. Yeah, this is a 1-2 pair because they both see this 2 cells, and this is going to be 7 and not 7. That's going to be 9, 6. And am I going to pencil mark these? May as well. 3, 4, 6. Not 6. Not 3. And in here I've got 5, 7, and 9. 5, 7, and 8, sorry. That's not a 7. The rest could be anything. Right, we're clearly not out of the woods here. We've made good progress, but how do I actually link it to the rest of the grid? That's the question. 4s, no. So that's a 9-cell RENBAN, which means it needs all digits, all of the digits 1 to 9 once each. This here is a 4-6-cell RENBAN with a 5 on it. So I could do 1 to 6, I could do 4 to 9. It's unclear. This is actually quite restricted though. So if I put in 1, 2, 8, 9, and that's not an 8, and that's not a 2 as a result, 189, whichever one I pick, is actually quite an extreme digit. Even if I pick an 8, which is the least extreme of those options, it really sets the tone for the rest of this RENBAN line. Yeah, I'm not too sure. It feels like there's just too many options. Maybe just some Sudoku just to kind of reduce the options a bit, such as 4s and 5s. They're both down here. That's not a 5 though. If that's a 4, that would be 6. That's possible. If that's a 6, that would be 3. That would be possible. That would be a 7. All looks possible. So moving on. What else do I have in here? What about this? Yeah, this is probably quite helpful. You see, it can't be 1, 2, it can't be 2, 3, it can't be 3, 4, it can't be 4, 5, it can't be 5, 6. And it can't include a 9. So this is 6, 7, 8 with a definite 7. You need an odd digit with an even digit, and 7 seems to be the only one that can reach what we have remaining. We need to complete the rest of this now. You can see the 3 is in none of these cells. The 3 is definitely on here. That's, again, not enough. The 8 could be here. Yeah, not enough. The 3 here, I seem to remember something about the 6. Yeah, that would have been a 6. That would have been a 3. That breaks it if that's a 4. So that's not a 4. This is a 4-5 pair. What is the rest of this now? So we know that there is a loose 6, 8 plus 1, 3, 6, 8 with a definite 1, 3. If that's a 1, that would be 2, then 8. That's possible. If that's that, we've established that can't be a 6 because that would require a 3 in here. So no 6s. If that's an 8, that would be a 4. That is also not available because of this 4. So this is 1 or 3. Therefore, this would be 2 or 6. Therefore, this would be 8 or 4, all of which seems appropriate. This 1, 3 would require a 7, which is not available. It's a 9. That's a 1. That's a 2. That's an 8. That's progress. This is now 3, 6, or 8 with a definite 3. There'll be another 6 or 8 in here just to complete the box, and it's clearly not an 8. So this is an 8. This is a 3, 8 pair. This is 6, 7. Completing the column, this is 3, 9. There is no longer an 8 in here. This is a 6, 7 pair, and this is a 1, 8, 9 triplet, ironically. These two have to be on the RENBAN, mind you. So there is no, oh, hang on, I've made a mistake. No 9s. 1, 8, 2. Which still doesn't entirely break what I was about to say, but it completely changes it. You still need two numbers that can stand the chance of being consecutive amongst a 6-cell RENBAN. So 1 and 8 and 2 and 8 couldn't possibly reach each other on a 6-cell RENBAN because you can only do 4 to 8 on a 6-cell RENBAN, 3 to 8 on a 6-cell RENBAN, not 2. So long way of saying this is 1, 2, this is an 8. These now, based on what I'm seeing, has to be 3, 4 in here since they need to be consecutive, and that needs to be a 6. That gives me a 6. That gives me a 7, then a 6. This is 1 or 2. This can't be an 8. This is actually a 9, a 1, a 2. These are 2 8s. And we're making progress, solid progress. This is 6 or 7. Both are available still. We should probably finish up this RENBAN. So I've got 3, 9 in here. I can't repeat the 3 on the RENBAN. That's an 8. That's a 3. I need a second 4, 5 somewhere. So what are the remaining digits? A second 4, 5, a 2, And I'm going to say a 6. Yeah, there are no 6s elsewhere. No 6s here. Only place for a 6 on this RENBAN. That would work. It's this cell. That's a 6. That's a 4. That's a 3. That's a 7. That's a 4. Which means this includes 4, 5. There is a 4 in here. That means that's the 4. That's the 5. So I need in these two cells a 5 and one more thing to complete that RENBAN. I think it's a 2. 2, 5. That 2 gives me an order. That's a 2. That's a 5. That's not a 5. In fact, that 4 might help me. No. Yes, that 6 does. That's 4. That's 3. That's 6. From 5, 7, 8. That's a 7. That's still a 5, 8 pair. There is a 3, 9 and a 1 in here. That is not the 3, 9. They both see this cell. That's the 1. That's another 3, 9. 1, 2, 3. We need, and 5, 6, 7. We need 4, 8, 9 in here. The 2 4s gives me a 4 there. The 9 gives me a 9 here. An 8 there. A 3 here. A 9 here. A 3 there. I'm surprised I haven't yet resolved these digits. That 8 though does help me resolve this side. That's 5 and 8. Right. Home stretch, I'm thinking. There is literally only one more non-Sudoku clue and then just a bunch of Sudoku to finish up. I say just a bunch of Sudoku, you know, it can be very tough, of course. That's the only place for a 7 in this box. I need 1 and 5. That's the 5, that's the 1. That gives me 2, 1, 2, 8. In here, I need, it's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is, oh, it's not even a 6. It is 8, 9. The 8 here gives me an order. That's an 8, that's a 9. That gives me a 6 and 9. To finish up here, I need a 1. Looks like 1, 2 that's not resolved. Then a 4 that is with a 6 that helps me resolve these two. Then I need again a 1 with, I'm going to say a 9. The 9 does help me resolve a few things. 2, 1. Where does 2 go? That's 2. That's 3. That's 5. And if I've not made any mistakes, that's a 7 for the finish. What a lovely puzzle, Mr. Willpower. Again, another incredible puzzle, another incredible setting, just how you're able to come up with these stories, really, in such a constrained environment. Hope that you guys enjoyed it. There are many willpower puzzles that have been recommended on this channel and featured before. I'm probably going to say have a look at some of the RENBAN ones, because that's one of his favorite lines for drawing some of these puzzles. So see what YouTube's got in terms of a playlist for you next. Bye-bye for now.